Sir, start பண்ணலாம் sir.
Okay. Good morning to all. Today, Trichy branch is ICI is organizing 2 hours unstructured learning program through webinar. The topic is Excel as a tool for data analyzing. The same delivered by C. Deepak Kumar at Chennai. Now, I introduced you about our speaker, C. Deepak Kumar. He is a qualified chartered accountant and hold a certificate in big data and machine learning from Great Lakes Institute of Management. During this corporate life, who respond 5 years, he was business development lead and company COO for a web portal company Guru Info Solutions Private Limited. In order, founder of Ideas Plus Knowledge Management Private Limited software development company. Headed group transaction banking business finance team of SAP at Scope International Private Limited for a tenure 5 years, out of which he was sent of deputations Standard Chartered Bank Hong Kong, supporting their whole banking in finance team, during which he was recipient first the prestigious Business Excellence Award individual category 2009 at International Private Limited for outstanding performance, extremely contribution to the organizations. He was instrumental for setting up and leading outsourcing team, comprising of more than 40 highly trained personnel to handle business operation, transformation, and automations of telecom tower companies, electricity, and rental payment for 10,000 towers, driving greater operation centers, controls along with significantly lowering company cost. So Deepak sir, you continue lesson, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello, permission sir, can I start?
Yes, sir, start, please, sir.
Okay.
Start, sir.
Thank you, permission sir, for the opportunity. Thank you, Trichy branch, for the opportunity. Before I start, I would like to share that whatever file I'm going to discuss in today's session, can be downloaded from this particular URL. So any member who wants to do with me, or maybe later when they see the video and they want to try, they can download the file from this particular URL. Okay. So today they wanted me to discuss about how we can use Excel as an effective tool for analyzing various data, be it your audit data or a financial data, even for the business purposes, how we can use Excel functionality for analyzing large data. Okay. So when I say large data, anywhere more than 500 records, you can just classify as large. It doesn't mean that you should have 1 million records or something else. Okay. So I'll introduce some new functionalities available. It is a very bad word to call new because these are available since last 12 years. But however, with my limited interaction and exposure to various corporates and people, I don't find members using functionalities almost which is available last 12, 13 years. Clear? So I'll try to use some features. Maybe some features may not be available in Excel 2007 version. Some are available only in Office 365 and further on. Okay. So I'll just take on one by one, and then we'll just see how we can analyze large data. Clear? Good. So before we started, so once again, I just want to say you can download this particular file at the bit.ly URL. We'll just get started. So the agenda for the day, we want to discuss about tables, which were introduced in Excel 2007. Okay, tables are very handy when we add repeated data. I mean, now and then, either after the month or the day. Okay, and then we'll speak about pivot table. I know many people use pivot table, but still we'll try to cover pivot table over here. And then we'll try touch upon some of the non-popular functionalities. Further to that, I want to introduce something called as Power Query and Power Pivot, which is primarily for handling large data. So in case you want to do any automation of any other process with respect to ETL, extract, transform, and load. Example, you download the data from any of the softwares and you do some transformation before you start using the data, you can use Power Query for that. And if you have a large data which is more than the Excel number of rows, we can use Power Pivot. Example, Excel can accommodate only 1 million records. If you want to analyze more records, example, 100 million records, you can use Power Pivot. So Power Pivot and Power Query are one of the biggest innovation or something Microsoft has offered in Excel. Okay, we don't need to move from Excel to some other software just because there's a restriction in the number of records or the processing time is very limited. So Power Query and Power Pivot was introduced in 2010 via Excel external add-in. Later on, it became part of the tool itself. Now, these days, people try to use something called as Power BI. So even the functionality with respect to Power BI, some of the functionalities are already brought inside our Excel itself. So example, we have Power Map and Power View. I also want to touch upon some of the new formulas available in Office 365. As of now, may not be available in Office Excel 2009 also. These new features are very good with regard to how we try to prepare individual reports. So aggregate, filter, sort, unique are few of the new functions available. These are array formulas available in Office 365. And I generally, most of the time, I find members doing some manual activity with regard to converting of the data. So when the data of numbers is stored in text, how they have to do it automatically so that next time they don't spend that time. So this is our agenda. We'll touch upon each of the items. Just to start with, I have a data, so which is a salary data, okay, which has date of birth, date of joining, employee number, name, salary, division, rating, and age. Okay, so when we have such data, which goes from line number 5 till line number 421, we have close to 417 records. Clear? So when we try to analyze this 417 records for salary, employee salary, this is per annum salary. Okay, we end up preparing some reports. Let's say I just want to. You may think this as a amount outstanding, data outstanding, anything else. So it doesn't mean that. So date of joining can be date of when you give a loan, and the salary can be the amount given to the customer. Okay, so this is one data. Before I start, I'll just start with some new formulas and then I'll proceed with. Okay, so example, we have some data over here. Okay, but if you see line number 12 and line number 13 are hidden. Okay, line number 12 and 13 are hidden. So in an audit, there's a likely chance we have to see whether the total adds up to the number or not, value, what is been reported. So when I select the data, I get close to 1139.3. I get via status bar 1139.3. So when I select the data, I get, 1267.2. 1267.2. But when I use a sum formula, and select the data, I get higher data because there are two hidden records, which is nothing but close to 160.5. Yeah. So even if you see the difference, it is same 160.5. So let me hide these two records. Now in audit, it is very crucial because some of the lines will be hidden. So how do I ensure I add up only for the visible cells? So our sum formula generally adds even the invisible cells also. Clear? So we can generally use subtotal. But we may not be very, frequently using subtotal. Okay. So Excel has introduced a formula which called aggregate. So what does it aggregate does is, I can, instead of selecting example, if I have to do some formula, so I'll end up doing equal to sum, open bracket. Okay. I will go select the first value, drag it down till the end. Clear? I do the same thing. Maybe I can freeze the range and then do it. Clear? Now the challenge over here is, when I do for each of the function, if I have to individually call a function, I have to remember all the functions. Okay. Instead of this, I can use aggregate Okay, it gives a host of opportunities. Example, I can do up to 19 functionalities. I can do up to 19 functionalities. So in this particular exercise, I want to do sum aggregation. So I can select 9 for aggregation. So press 9. It gives an option now. Example, one second. So aggregate. So for sum, I need to press 9. For sum, I need to press 9 or press tab, comma. It gives an option whether do you want to ignore anything or do you want to ignore hidden rows. So when I say ignore hidden rows, it will only aggregate only the visible rows. Clear? In case you have the data has any errors, it can also ignore errors. If you want both ignore hidden rows and errors, you can ignore both. I generally prefer to select option 3, which also contains ignore hidden rows, ignore error values, ignore nested subtotals. Example, if you have any subtotal in between, it can also ignore. So I generally prefer to select 3. Then I can select the range. Clear? So once I select the range, now advantage is I get only total for the visible cells. For example, if I use the same thing for sum, I may end up a different number. So I find this aggregate as a very good function, because for audit purpose, we have to ensure that there is no hidden rows, because we can't try to check almost all the all the lines. Example, if some company is having close to 1 lakh records, we can't check all the records. So aggregate function is one of the good things. Now, in the next exercise, we have some error values. Okay. So when I use a sum formula, and if my data range has error, even the result is also error. Even the result is also error. So this is been overcome by aggregate function. So in this case, I want to do a sum 9, comma, I want to ignore hidden rows, error values, comma 3. Then I can go and select the range. So I use shift and up arrow key to select the range. So here I get a value, excluding all the error, cells which are error and cells which are hidden. So this is something for aggregate. You can use formula text to see what formula I have typed. So this is the formula I have typed over here. Good. So aggregate, this has close to 19 functionalities and so close to 8 options. So we get close to 180 plus options. This is with regard to aggregate. Yes. Now moving forward, I want to analyze this particular data. Okay. So we have in Excel in way back in 2010, we have 2007, we have something called as format as table. Okay. So what does this format as table does? Example, when I scroll down for this particular large data, when I scroll down, I am not able to see my column headings. I'm not able to see my column headings. Okay. So generally we use filter or we use freeze panes. We use freeze panes to try to filter the data. Sorry, try to freeze the column heading. So when I go down, I am not able to see my column heading. First point. Second point, when I try to apply filter, so try to apply a filter, and let's say I'm trying to filter some data. So let's say I have filtered this data. Now, as a user, when I scroll down, I miss out what column and what is the filter criteria applied. Clear? So in this case, only if I go and click on this particular icon, I get what all data has been filtered. So this is one of the, limitation. I can't say drawback, limitation. Okay. Let's say I want to add a new column. Let's say I want to pay bonus. So I write bonus and I press enter. My range is still only I column. My range does not extend to J column. Clear? And when I apply a formula, let's say I say salary is into salary into 10% is my bonus. And if I press enter, only Deepak only has to copy the formula down. Okay. So the formula does not automatically gets copied. This is one of third option, third limitation. And if I add some more records, let's say Deepak joins this company, Deepak Kumar. And if I press enter, neither my range expands, neither my formula is getting replicated. So these are some limitations which can be, which are there, which is a manual activity which we try to do. This can be automated using tables. This can be automated using tables. Okay. So what is table? A table is nothing but a combination of rows and column. Okay, it gives a boundary to tell that this data is only from this to here. Okay, so even if you have a blank column, it means the data stops over here. It is not for the, it is trying to group data for a similar data set. Okay? Now, how do I create a table? So be on your data, be anywhere on the data. On the home screen, format as table. On the home screen, you have something called as format as table. This is available since Excel 2007 version. So you can select any of the styles. I prefer to generally keep it little formal. So I use blue as a style. So let me click on this. It will ask you two data. Example, where is your data for your table? So I'm saying my data is from B4 to I421. So B4 is nothing but my header. Okay, still the cell row number 421, and it is asking whether my table has header. Yes, the fourth record has my header. So I can just say okay. Clear. Now, if you see in the previous screen over here, when I applied format, I don't have filter. I do not have filter. When I say okay, the filter is by default applied. First point. Okay. So when I scroll down, let's see now. It is column A, B, C, D. Okay. When I scroll down, you can see here when I'm within the table. When I'm within the table, you can see the heading. It is nothing but is my column label. Column labels have been visible over here. So it is after column A, it is date of birth, date of joining, employee number, name of the person, salary, division, rating, etc. So this is one of the good advantage of table. Clear? Second point with regard to filter, I said something about filter. So we have something called as slicer in Excel. So I will go to insert slicer. Insert slicer. Okay, this functionality may not be slicer was introduced in 2010, but was not compatible for tables in 2010. In later version, it was compatible. Okay. So let's want to say division, or I want to say rating. Clear? I would like to filter the data for rating and slicer. So I'll just drag and drop it over here. Clear? In case if I want to filter for, let's say, rating only 1, rating employees with rating 1, I can just click on, let's say, 1. So my data is getting filtered. My filter criteria is also visible over here. My filter criteria is also visible over here. So if I want to say 2, so my data is filtered for rating equal to 2, clear, and so forth. The advantage over here is I can see my conditions also. I can see my conditions also. If you want multiple conditions, please use control. Please use control key. So control 2, control 3. I mean, you can just keep pressing. So data will get filtered. It is manually we have to see the data what is filtered over here. In this case, it is visible what data has been filtered. Clear? If you don't want any filter, you can just click on this clear filter. It will remove all the filter icons. Okay. If you want to filter further, let's say division. So if I click on HFD, my data for HFD is filtered. If I click on AD, my data for AD is being filtered. So this is slicer, it's a good way of filtering data for tables as well as for pivot table. Slicer is not compatible for filtering for tables in Excel 2010. Just a point to know. So you can just click on delete button so that it will delete it. Now the third point I said is if I add additional column to the data, example, I'm adding a new column called bonus. If I press enter, clear, my data automatically gets expanded. Clear. Now, so my range is also getting expanded. In the previous example, when we tried to apply a formula, we said F. Okay, I'll remove the filter. In the previous example, when we tried to apply a formula, we generally use a cell reference, so F5 into 10%. Okay. Why should I enter a code like F5, F6, etc.? Why can't it be a readable structured referencing? Okay. So tables introduces a concept called structured referencing. So I can say equal to, if I link to this particular cell, it says @ means on the same row. @ means on the same row, please refer to salary column. So salary multiplied by 10% or 10% will give me bonus. Just watch it carefully. So when I press enter, the formula gets replicated to all the cells. Okay, this is advantage. And second point, you can see over here for all the cell, my formula will be the same. It is salary into 10%. This is one good advantage compared to our regular cell referencing. Okay. Now what happens if I add next month some additional data? Let me type Deepak Kumar. You can see here, as of now, we don't have any formula. Let's say Deepak Kumar. Let me press enter. My range gets expanded. Also, my formula is also getting expanded. So one of the good advantage for dynamic data set is for tables. We can use table for ensuring that we don't need to every time go and change our source data. So this is one of the good example for tables. We can also give name. We can also give name for tables. Example. So I can go whenever you're on the data, whenever you're on the table, you can click on table design. You can just give a useful, meaningful name. Example, I can give employee DB. Okay. We have a practice either to tell whether it is a lookup table or a transaction table. Okay. In this particular data, it is not a master data. It is a transaction data. So I can write TT, transaction table underscore employee database. Now, if you do not wish to use table, and you want to use in a regular referencing, you can always click on this convert to range. Okay. This will remove the table formatting. However, the formatting will not go. You can manually change the format. If you do not wish to use tables and you want to use only the regular referencing, you can go to table design, click on convert to range. This will convert the data back to our regular format, regular range, but the formatting will not get cleared. So you have to do it manually. Now, let's start analyzing this data further. So example, we have salary, date of joining, date of thing. We generally wish to analyze the data. One second. We generally wish to analyze the data. Example, we wish to know which department wise, what is the salary I'm paying, salary payout, and percentage. Example, how much they take. Example, whether the 20%, 30%, what is the payout they generally take. We can also look at department wise headcount and percentage. So which department has maximum headcount and what is the percentage. We wish to also see department wise salary payout, average salary payout. So you can just think as for a supplier, what is the average payout per week or per month or something else? What is the minimum payout they do? What is the maximum payout they do? Here we have something called as age. So we want to also see department wise, what is the average age, what is the minimum age, and what is the maximum age. Clear? So we are trying to see what is the age factor for each of the department. Clear? Now to proceed further, we may also look at age range wise, number of employees. So example, how many employees are there between 21 to 30, 31 to 40? I mean, we have a regular intervals. Okay, so 41 to 50, etc. It can be age range wise, or it can be even salary range wise. So in your case for audit, you can just think as for payout, what is the general payout range? So salary payout, salary range wise, number of employees. So when I say salary age, it is nothing but 1 to 1 lakh rupees. How many employees are there? 1 lakh to 2 lakh. How many employees are there? So if you want to do this kind of analysis, we can do it using pivot tables. Clear? Additionally, generally what we try to do manually is we try to insert a column, we try to filter the data and then manually type over here. Instead of manually typing, we can use a functionality in pivot tables for grouping the data. Clear? We can use pivot table. If you do not have what to say intervals, intervals, we can also have something called for VLOOKUP. We can use VLOOKUP where the uniform intervals are not there. In this example, we are given uniform intervals. Example, the gap between two limits is 1 lakh. So instead of this intervals, we can also have, let's say, how many members are there below 50,000? How many are there between 50,000 to 2 lakhs? The interval size is not frequent. So we can use VLOOKUP for such data. Yeah. And then if we want to find out who are the top 10 employees by salary, top 10 employees by salary, how do we do it? Okay. And if I want to prepare department-wise data to send it out. Example, this data has for all the companies, all the employees in the company. I want to prepare data for, let's say, AD department separately, for CDFD department separately, and then send it across. Okay. So we'll just get started. Now, I wish to introduce a formula. Okay, I'll just copy this data to some other column, some other sheet, so that we try to solve all the examples. Now, when I said we want to filter the data and then send it across, let's say I can type department. Okay. So I want to give data for department AD. Okay. We have a new formula called array formula in Office 365, which is called filter. Yeah. So a filter, then I need to give what is my data, where is my data available. So I'll just go select to my, I'll just select, you can see over here, it is employee database. So when I select entire range, it is selecting the table, Yeah. So I give my table name. Now I need to give a condition. So I should say TT employee database, box braces, division, close the box braces, equal to AD. Clear? Comma. It is asking what happens if my data is not available. I can say not available. Requested data not available. Close bracket, enter. So this will create an array formula. By itself, and it will sort the data. If you see here, only in the first line you have the formula. When I go to the second record, it gets grayed out. Okay, it gets grayed out. So this is an array formula. I cannot delete a line. Example, I cannot click and delete the line. Okay, so the array formula starts from here. It goes till the end. Okay. It will automatically expand and compress by itself. Let's say I change this data to CDFD. Enter. So my data gets changed. The only drawback, it currently does not get the heading. Okay, so manually you can copy the heading. As of now, it does not copy the heading. So manually just copy the heading and then use it. So filter is nothing but filter. We have to give two parameters. One, where is my data? Second, you have to define the criteria. You can also define multiple criteria, but not directly. You can use some other method, match or some product to get multiple criteria into place. So this is available in Office 365 as of now. So we can filter the data and then send it across. We can copy paste value. This is better than using some other method to copy paste the data. Clear? So this is for filter. Now, if you wish to sort the data, let's say I want to find how many unique records are there. I want to find how many unique records are there over here, unique departments. We have another new formula called unique. So equal to unique. Okay. So I can just go select the array. Comma. Do you want to provide only unique rows? Yes, I want to provide only by unique rows. Enter. So these are my, if you see the formula here. So my formula is, if you see the second line, it does not have any formula, but my values available in my second record cell, there's no formula available. So you can use unique formula to find unique records available. This is generally useful when we are downloading the customer data or a transaction sales data, and you want to find how many new products have been sold, how many unique customers we have sold the products, or how many unique products we have sold to the customers. We can use this unique formula. Okay. Now you may be wondering, Deepak, and what happens if I want to sort the data? Okay, I have got the unique. How do I sort the data? We can add one more formula by name sort. Okay, there are two formulas, sort and sort by. We'll just do sort. Let's sort. Enter. So whether you want ascending or descending wise. So comma. So I can say, I can just put comma is equal to 1. 1 is by ascending order, -1 is for descending order. Close bracket, enter. So you can see the same data is now got sorted by alphabetical order. Clear? Good. So one is a unique formula to get the unique values. Second is a sort formula to sort the data. In case the entire data, this entire data you want to sort by, let's say, division and also by salary. We can use sort by. So my data table array is nothing but TT. Since I given a table name, so I'll call TT underscore employee underscore DB, comma. So first criteria is I want to sort the division by. First criteria I want to sort the division by alphabetical order. Second, I want to sort the salary column by descending order. Clear? So TT employee DB, select it, box bracket, I can say division. So I selected division. Then I have to say whether it is ascending or descending. So I'll press 1 for ascending, comma. Then the second column I want to sort is salary. So I can say TT, my table name TT employee DB, box bracket, salary, close bracket, close box bracket, comma, -1, because I want to sort by descending order, close bracket, enter. So if you see here, my data has got sorted over here with column AD. Okay, and it is also sorted by descending order. So this is very useful. Once you set the formula, next time you are not supposed to work on this particular data set. This is very useful formula because most of the corporate employees, they try to churn out some data and then give it to some management. So the only work is required is only you need to copy the source data. Other things are getting placed. So you no need to work on the second time. You can focus more time on analyzing the data than preparing the data. So such formulas, for example, filter is to filter the data and keep it in a separate sheet or in the same sheet. Then you can use unique to find out the unique values in the particular data set. You can use sort and sort by. Clear? So these are the useful formulas, array formula available in Office 365. Maybe in Office, I mean Excel 2022, we can get such formulas. As of now, we don't have such formula in Excel 2019. Clear? Now, moving forward, we wanted to do such reports. So let us see how we can do the reports. We use a functionality called pivot table. Pivot table. It means pivot means summary. And as I said before, table means a combination of rows and columns. Clear? So pivot table is nothing but summary presented in the form of combination of rows and columns, which also does some type of aggregation or calculation. So when I say aggregation, it does something called a sum, count, or max, min, average, product, etc. Okay. And if you want to, calculation is nothing but example, if I want to do like example bonus column. So bonus, if I want to do a column, I can add it in pivot table itself. I need not add a particular column in a data. So I can do a bonus column. Example, bonus will be salary into some percentage. Salary into bonus percentage. So this data can also be multiplied. Yeah. So such calculations can also be done in pivot table. Let us start now. So for pivot table, we don't need much. I mean, it is not so technically difficult. I mean, basic pivot table is very easy. If you know drag and drop, the only functionality is you should know logic of preparing the report, and it is just the drag and drop functionality. So first report, let's say department-wise salary payout. So the report we generally see is department name. So it can be one department A, 2, 3, 4, and you want in the salary amount over here, let's say X, Y, Z. Okay. So departments are presented in row. Okay. You can have this way also. You can also have it another way of transpose the data. So maybe you can have in other format also. So there's no standard rule. The report should be only like this. It depends on the user. If the user is comfortable in this fashion, you can prepare the report in this fashion. If the user is comfortable in this fashion, you can prepare. So there's no standard rule that report has to be only in a portrait or landscape. So we'll just get started. So be on the data. You can go to insert pivot table. Okay. So it says, please select the data. So my data is in this particular table by name, TT employee database. You can, it is asking where do you want to place the pivot table. You can say new pivot table, new pivot sheet. I'll come back to this data model a little later. Maybe at the end of the session, I'll just try. The data model is nothing but something new concept, which is primarily for the purpose of Power Pivot. Okay, we'll just come back to this little later. So first thing is, where is the data? Select the data. Second, where do you want to place the pivot table? Click OK. Clear. Now, as we saw over here, we want the department is there in each of the rows. So what we can do is we can just drag, drop to divisions. So we got all the departments over here. Drag and drop salary to values. This is where we do all type of aggregation, whether it is a salary, sum, count, or something else. We just do aggregation over here. So I just placed over here. So we have got salary, sum of all salary for each of the department. Clear. So this is our first report. I'll just start once again. I'll just want to repeat. Either you can go to insert, or you can go to view. Or you can go to table design, summarize by pivot table. Either you can go to insert and pivot table, or you can go to table design and summarize by pivot table. So let me click on summarize by pivot table. It is asking where is the data. So my data is in table name here. And where should I place the pivot table? New sheet. Click OK. So it is a drag and drop functionality. Drag division, place it into rows, and drag salary, place it over here. If you do not wish to see in this particular fashion, you can just drag and drop to columns. So you can see the same data into columns. Clear? Okay. So it is better that we put it in row. Best practice is this one. Clear? Now I want to see percentage also. So Deepak, can I do like this? So this divided by this. Yes, you can continue to do manually. Okay, but we have a functionality also in the pivot table. So just drag and drop, drag and drop. Okay, we have got the sum. If you right click over here, you have something called as show value as percentage of column total, because the total is available in the column N. So show value as percentage of column total. For the members who are using 2007 version Excel, don't worry, this is there also in 2003 also. So do not worry. Right click, value field settings, show value as. In the dropdown, can you click on percentage of column total? Clear? So I'll just repeat once again. Drag and drop the salary once again. So you have the sum. Please do the aggregation. After you've done the aggregation, right click, value field settings. You can do it over here is also. You can do over here, show value as percentage of column total. So for the members who are using Excel 2007, you have to go to value field settings. In the value field settings, you go to show value as. Show values currently is no calculation. Just change it to percentage of column total. Click OK. So we have got department wise salary and also the percentage. So we understand RAD department is taking close to 49% of salary. Now, if you want further to add any of the employee headcount, etc., we can do the same thing over here. I would prefer to add a name of the employee than a salary, because example, the employee can be absent for the entire month, and since the salary is 0, you can skip that particular cell. So there's a possibility that we don't count. Okay. So it is always advisable you select name of the employee, drag and drop it over here. So we have got employee name also. And you can drag once again employee name, once again over here, and then right click, field settings, show value as percentage of column total. Now, if you feel this heading has to be changed, do not worry. Just go to the particular cell. Please keep typing. So total salary per annum. Ensure that the name is not similar to the field name. Okay. So salary percentage. You can just keep typing head count. Head count percentage. Good. So we are done with our first report of analyzing. These 2 reports have been done. Now we wish to see department wise what is my average salary, what is my total salary, minimum salary, and maximum salary. I would suggest you to just copy the data, pivot table, place it below, just paste it over here. You can remove, right click, and you can remove this field, head count. I don't want. Okay, this also I do not. Now, if you see the columns are getting compressed, so if you want to ensure that your column widths are all stable, right click, pivot table options, uncheck auto fit column width on update. So you can uncheck this, and let's say you decide to put a column width, let's say 15. Now, even if you want to refresh, it will not change. Clear? So right click and uncheck. Clear? Now, I want now total salary is there. I will drag again salary at least 3-4 times. Clear? So the second one I want is what is the minimum salary. So like sum, we can also do. I mean, we can summarize the data by sum, maximum, average, minimum. So in this case, we want minimum salary. So department wise, what is the minimum salary been available? So second thing I want is average salary. So right click, summarize by average. This tells the what is the spread for each of the department. So it is starting from 12,000 rupees. Average salary is close to 2 lakh rupees, close to 2 lakhs, and the maximum salary is close to 6,37,000. Clear? So the gap is very high from 12,000 to 6 lakhs. This gap is very high. So each of the department you can see the salary over here. So even for the organization, it is starting from 10,000, 11,000 is approximately. Average is close to 2,29,000. 2,29,000, and the top salary is close to 10 lakh rupees. This is for average salary. So our second report is also done. In this way, you can actually filter the data for any of the purchase. So for a purchase, you can just see vendor wise, what is my total payout, what is my minimum payout for the person, what is my maximum payout. Okay, this can be done for each other supplier. Or example, whether they purchase only from this particular vendor or from different vendors. And with regard to department wise age, it can be done in the same fashion where how we did the salary. So I just want to skip over here. So you need to just bring the age over here and right click and do summarize by minimum, maximum, and average. Then comes the age range. Please see in our data, we do not have any range. We do not have any range. So I can't go and manually filter the data. Let's say, Deepak, please filter this data. And this is all part of one group called 21 to 30. I can't keep on doing the same thing because every time I change my data, I need to manually update this particular mapping. So either you can do via VLOOKUP, okay, or you can do via pivot table. Pivot table only when the interval size are regular. Okay? So I can just copy this data on pivot table. Once again, paste it to here, Control C, Control V. I'll try to clear, go to analyze, clear my pivot table. Clear. So in this data, we want age-wise grouping. So please drag age column to row, and drag name of the employee because we use for head count. Clear. So for the age 25, we have 27 employees. Age 26, we have 68 employees. Age 27, we have 67 employees. Okay. So we have various employees range, close to 27 different age groups. Clear? So what we are trying to say is, Deepak, please select this data. Please try to group them. Clear? So I can right click. There's something called as group. So when I say group, it starts from 25 because my data currently has a minimum value of 25. You can manually go and change it to 21. And my interval size is 10. So click OK. Now my data has got sorted. I mean, the data has got grouped. So for 21 to 30, we have 246 employees. 31 to 40, we have 130 employees. 41 to 50, 38 employees. 51 to 60 is 3 employees. This is a very good size, pyramid style type of organization. We have a very large base for youngsters and very lesser employees in senior grade. Okay. Now, Deepak, I don't want to see for the organization. I want to see for a particular department. Please drag and drop division over here. And this is by division wise grouping. Or if you want to see like this, division on the rows and age group on column, you can also see like this. Clear? So this gives a better view for each department, whether they have young employees or senior employees. if the employees are senior, there's a likely chance they enjoy a little fat salary given their exposure experience. But for all element, I mean, executive level of work, we need employees at the young age. So most of the IT companies, they ensure the age is less than 30. IT companies, BPO companies have a target to keep anywhere between 27 to 28. BPO companies like call center and everything, because it is a monotonous work, so they want to keep the employees with age with less. Okay. Now we are done with the age. If I want to do the same thing with salary, just drag and drop, copy paste over here. Please remove the division, age, clear. Now drag and drop salary. So in case it is my salary over here, you can look into payout. You can look into whatever example amount payout. So right click, group. So it is starting from 10,898 because the lowest value is 10,898. I can just change it to 1. I can group by 1 lakh or I can group by 50,000. In this case, I want to stick to 1 lakh. So click OK. So you can see at each, when there are 166 employees between a salary of 1 rupee to 1 lakh. Okay. Now, if you want to see data by division, okay. So as I said before, you can just copy, drag and drop division to any of the column or row. But we'll see how we can filter the data. So you can go to insert, slicer. There's something called a slicer. Insert slicer is available since Excel 2010. So slicer is to filter the data. So let's say I'll click on division. If you want to apply multiple criteria, you can just apply multiple criteria. So let's say rating, age. So all the criteria is available over here. Now you can click on, let's say, rating 1, the data gets filtered. Department AD, CDFD, whichever department you want to select, you can say ERAD. So if you want to select by age group also, you can do it. So slicer is a very good, useful method, because during a meeting or a board meeting, generally the boss asks for some, data, filter, some minute data. So during the meeting, slicer will be very useful because he wants to see various combinations. This can add value and you can provide that. So slicer is one more thing. So be on the data, pivot table, insert slicer. So 2010, the slicer was introduced for only pivot table, and for tables, it was available little later. Good. So we are done with salary range also. Now we want to find who are my top 10 employees and what is my department-wise data. So department-wise data, we are done by filtering. We use a function called filter function and got department-wise data. Now we need to find top 10 employees. Who are the top 10 employees in the company? So again, I'll copy the existing pivot table, Control C. I'll just go down, paste it over here. Click. Maybe in a new sheet it is better. Paste it. I'll try to remove the salary. Put it outside. I'll bring the name. In this exercise, we are trying to do 2 activities. One, in this particular activity, we are trying to do 2 activities over here. One, we are trying to filter top 10. One we are trying to do is sort the data descending. So just drag and drop name of the employee to rows and salary to values. So it is available in count. Do not worry. Right click, summarize by sum, not as a count. So just click on sum. You got by salary. We have employee name and we have salary, but we want to see only top 10 employees. So what we can do is, there's a drop down available over here. Click on the drop down. You can sort the data, but I want to filter. So filter is all by label or by values. In this case, we want to filter by values, top 10 employees. The last option available is top 10. Last option is top 10. Click on top 10. You can either do top 10 employees or bottom 10 employees. You can increase the number. N example, it can be 5, it can be 25, whatever it is. We'll restrict to 10. No. It can be part of items, that is each of the item, or it can be top 10% or the sum of top 10 employees. So to top 10 items, but the data is not sorted data. So we once again go to the drop down. Please understand this sort A to Z and Z to A is only for the column, which is sorted only by alphabetical order. We want to sort based on data available in column C. We want to sort the data based on data available in column C. So click on more sort options. Descend. Definitely we don't want to do sorting by name. We want to do by salary. Click on salary, click OK. So now this has got sorted, the salary wise data for each employee. So Vikram Jesudas is earning close to 9 lakhs. Sudha is earning 9,32,000. Clear? Once I will just repeat, I'll repeat, I'll remove all the filters. Clear? So first option is go to value filters. The last option available is filter top 10. So you can do top 10 filter. You can do by top or bottom. So top, how many items based on salary. Click OK. So we have got 15 names. Second thing, we want to sort the data by descending. So go once again on the drop down. Select on more sort options. Go to select descending. In the descending, please select salary. It is not by employee name, it is by salary. Click OK. Clear? So it has sorted the data by employees. Good. So this is what I wanted to share about data analysis for using Excel. Okay. So this you can try to use it even for other things. Example, wherever there's a cash disbursement, you can just look into whether it is 21 to 30, 31 to 40. Now, what happens if I want to add a new column? Okay, I have spoken only about aggregation. What happens if I want to add a new column? So how do I add a new column? So once again, I'll just go to the. We have for most employees, whoever is using Excel 2010, you have option called. If you're on the pivot table, you have something called as analyze, or you may have options. Okay, so click on analyze or options. We have under calculation, we have field. Okay, so there are two options available here: calculate field, calculate item. Calculate field is nothing but adding a new column, and calculate item is adding a new row. Clear? So I want to add a new column because I want to compute bonus for all the employees. So be on the pivot table, analyze or options, field, calculate field. So click on calculate field. Just give a name for a new column. So I'll say bonus. Bonus. Let my criteria be, example, if someone is earning salary of more than 1 lakh, we will pay bonus of 12%. Okay, so let's say first thing we'll do bonus rate. Okay, so salary. So I can use any of the Excel formulas. So if open bracket salary, so I brought the salary field over here, greater than 1 lakh, comma, then it is 12%. Else it is 15%. So anyone who is drawing less than 1 lakh, he will get 50% bonus. Click add, click OK. So you can find the difference over here. So if I remove data, if I remove this filter and sort the data, you can see here. Okay, this employee is earning 50 because his salary is less. If you go down, maybe added extra 0 once again. So I just go modify. One second. 1 lakh. So we have said about 12% or 15%. Click OK. Just a moment. Maybe I'll create a new table so that something is summarized by insert pivot table. So I'm bringing in of them by, I'm getting salary summarized by count. Clear? So insert field is calculate field. I say bonus. So bonus will be if my salary is greater than 1 lakh, 1 lakh, then comma 15%, 12 percentage, or else 15%. Close bracket, add. Something is wrong. Okay. I'm sorry, something is wrong over here. So I'm sorry, something is wrong in my system. Okay, we can use all the formulas in calculate field in a similar manner we do it in Excel. Okay, so for adding a new column, you can use analyze table and then do it. So let me try whether it is working for bonus amount. Let's say salary into 12%, salary into 15%, enter. Okay, something is wrong. So I'm sorry. Maybe I can cover it a little later. Okay. Okay. Further proceeding on, if I have a data which is day-wise sales, okay, day-wise sales, and I want to prepare a monthly report or a weekly report or a quarterly report from this daily data, how do I prepare weekly, monthly, or a yearly report? Okay. So as a first step, we recommend to convert this data into a text, table format. So be on the data, home screen, format as table. So click on this data. So just see whether your data is selected. Second, whether your data has a header or not. Click OK. So I convert my data to table format. I'll, as a best practice, I'll just go and rename the table. The table design, I'll rename to daily sales. TT underscore daily sales. TT is for transaction data, daily sales. Clear? So we'll summarize the pivot table by, summarize the data by pivot table, click OK. So if I drag and drop date, in the later version, it will just groups by year. So I'll just right click and ungroup. So we have day-wise sales. We want to prepare weekly sales report. Click group. So grouping for day is very useful. So I can select days. I can say I want to group the data by number of days is equal to 7. 7 is for a week. You can write 15 also for fortnight. So click 7. So this becomes my weekly sales data. Clear? If you want to group by month, you can select month, quarter, year, example. So we have got by year, quarter, and month. Okay, the design is not so good. So be on the data, select the design, go to report layout. Please select on either on outline or tabular form. So I prefer tabular form. So we have got a column for year, column for quarter, column for a month. So we have a quarter total over here. We have yearly totals. If you can drag and drop year, to columns, this is much more better because we can see monthly data, we can see quarterly data total over here, and the yearly data. We may not require this grand total. So what we can do, once again go to design, grand total off for we want only for columns, so we can only keep it for columns. Because if we add to January month, it doesn't make sense. So we can always keep be on the data design. We can just say total only for columns. If you do not wish to see the subtotals, you can just go and remove the subtotals over here. Good. And if you want to apply any other formatting, you can just say banded rows. So it will get alternate rows will be colored for easy reading. This will be one of the good things. So this is how we do grouping. I mean, if you want to analyze the data on a month or a quarter, we can right click the data, group, we can select options like month, quarter, and year, and swap the data into row and column based on your need. Proceeding further, I have some data, okay, which is nothing but transaction data, which says transaction wise, product ID wise, customer ID wise, store ID wise, quantity. Okay, we do not have price, we don't have price and value, sales value we don't have. Okay, we have another data which is called product table, where for each product ID the price is available. So we can use VLOOKUP. We can use VLOOKUP to get the price and do multiplication. That is what we generally do for use VLOOKUP to get the price from product table. This is what we generally do. Okay, we use VLOOKUP to get the price from product table and multiply and get the sales value. Okay, so Excel has introduced in 2010 via Excel add-in some feature called Power Pivot, and it also has something called as Power Query. So Power Query acts like transform and load. Okay, so it get and transform. It can be also called as get and transform. So it can be either called as get and transform or Power Query. Clear? So this is available in data, get and transform data. So this is where it's called Power Query. This entire thing is called Power Query. For example, if you want to import the data as a text file or a workbook or a XML, JSON, or from folder. Example, you have 10 files and you want to import, you can import via folder. Or you can import the data using any of the database, example, SQL, MySQL, etc. If you want to import data from online, that also you can do, or from a web. Example, if you want to import the data from web, share prices and things, you can use it, Power Query. If you want to import data from Tally, you can use connector, ODBC connector or OData feed to get the data from any of the ERPs. Example, Tally uses a different database, so we can use ODBC connector to get the data from Tally. Clear? So this is what is for Power Query. But why do we use Power Query? Let us understand it. Okay. 1 second, I'll just if you see here, I have multiple data. Okay, this is one of the data only. I just try to put it in the Excel file. So we have data, example, customer lookup table, footmart data, transaction data, product data, region data, and store data. Okay, so this is what I have added over here. This is what I added over here. 1 second. Okay, so how do I, what do I mean by import? I mean, Power Query get and transform. What do I mean? Okay. So what does it does is, example, if I do not want to see the data transaction day wise, and I want to see only a summary by product ID or customer ID, we can store the steps into Power Query. Okay. So first step is, example, let's say I use the folder option. I use the folder to get this data into Excel file. Clear? I'll go to a new sheet, data, get and transform. So let's say I can use Excel as import the data from CSV. Click on this. Please select the path. So please select the path. So I select the path. So I'm selecting this particular data. Click import. The advantage of Power Query is I need not import the data into Excel file. I can just create a connection and then start using it. Okay. So Excel has, by its intelligence, it has understood that it is a comma separated value. So it is giving a delimiter as comma, and it is increasing my first record to headers, and it has also changes my data type. Okay. So instead of clicking load, I will generally prefer to click on transform. In some of the system, it will be called as edit. So it is either transform or edit. So I click on transform data. In your case, you can click on edit. So let us understand what Excel has done it. Okay. So it will open a window called Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. So it has given a name for the query. So I can just change the name. So TT transaction, Footmart transaction, Footmart transaction. Suggest not to give a space. Okay. So it has said it has applied following steps. Okay. So this is our ribbons. I mean, it says home screen, home menu, transform. Transform is nothing but for the given data. If you want to change anything, you can just transform. If you wish to add any columns using a query or something, you can do it using a function. And it says it has applied the 3 steps. The first step being it is connecting to the source. So it tells, if I click on this settings, it tells the file path is over here, and open the file as a CSV, apply the line breaks and delimitates comma. It is saying this is the following steps have been applied. Click OK. So on my first step, if you can see, it has just imported the data, and my even the first record, the column header is also as a record. In the next step, it has applied. Okay. So if I don't want to follow this step, I can be on the data. On the transform menu, there's something called as used first to as header. Use first to as header. So I can click and use first to as header. Clear? So this is what has been done in the second step. So it has promoted my data to header. Now, if you see carefully, the date is still in a text mode. I mean, product ID can be in a text, it's fine, but quantity is also in text. So we can't do any aggregation when the data is in text. To change the data type, you can click on this particular icon, box. You will find various options available, or you can right click on the column header, change type. You can say this has to be in not in a text format, this has to be in a date format. So I'm just changing the step. Clear? So I can just insert, whether you want to insert a step or you want to replace, I'll say insert. So it has changed to date. Here also I want to change to date. So change type from text to date. I'll just change this particular column. I will retain product ID, customer ID, and store ID because I'm not going to do any aggregation. I'll use it as a text itself. So for quantity, I'll right click and just say transform type to numbers, whole number. Okay. Whole number is nothing but we don't have decimal values. So insert. You can just go and rename the column. So I can just say rename, change the column data type, change data type. Enter. If you want to further add any steps, you can do it. Let's say I don't want to see any transaction data. I want to see only customer-wise data. Okay. So I can just go to home screen. I wish to group. So you can group by single column or you can group by multiple columns. So let's say I want to group by customer ID. And let's say if you want to also group by product ID, you can do the same. I will total quantity. I will give a new column name, total quantity. The operation I want to do is sum aggregating based on which column is based on quantity column. So I can add further columns also. If you want to have average quantity, you want to have something extra, you can do it. So if you don't want extra columns, you just go and delete. So in this case, I don't want to see the entire data. I just want to see a summary by product ID and customer ID, entire quantity. Okay, sum of quantity. Click OK. So it is applying a new step, and my data got transformed. Clear? Now I can just decide to close and load too. So I'll click on close and load too, which gives multiple options. First option is I can click on data table. Okay. So when I click on table, it will present the entire data over here. It will present the entire data over here. So it has got now changed to 85,452 records. Clear? If I don't want to create I don't want to have the data, I can just go click on 3 dots, load to. I can change from data to connection. I just create a connection. Or I can create a pivot table. I can also add to data model. So let me add to a data model. Clear? So creating only a connection, click OK. There's a loss of the data. Yes, I understand there's a loss of data because we have already populated data over here. So I click OK. So it is only creating a connection. Let's wait. So it is creating connection. So it has created a connection. It has 85,000 records. So without having the data, without having data in any other sheets, I can just go to insert pivot table, use this Verbu data model, existing sheet, I can create a pivot table. So I can just drag and drop. I can just drag and drop product ID and total quantity. I got product ID wise quantity. So what is my sales? If you want to analyze by customer, you can analyze by customer. Clear? So without getting the data loading to the Excel sheet, we can also create a connection to the file and then use it. Any changes you do, it will not impact the source file. It will only do the changes only in the output file, not in the source file. Okay. Can I just take a minute of break and just have some water? Just a moment. Okay. So this is how Power Query is useful for us to import, create a connection and then use it. Okay. Let me use one more time Power Query. I want to import these two files. I want to import these two files into my Excel sheet. So any files which is available as CSV, I want to import the files into our Excel file. Okay. So I can be in any other sheets, not an issue. So data, get data from file, from folder. Okay. So all the files available in the folder we are trying to import. Browse. So I can just give the path over here. Click OK. So it has listed down many files. It has listed down many files. Okay. So we'll just click on transform. Clear? Power Query is case sensitive. Power Query is case sensitive. Let's say I want to import only these 4 files. The path is available over here. So let's say there are 2 paths available. I will go to CSV file. I'll just go to the second folder. I'll uncheck the first folder, second folder, click OK. So it is showing me some files, 97, 98, 99, 2000. There are Excel file, there's CSV file, there's text file, and Excel file once again in a caps. Okay, where it is case sensitive. So I'll right click. I will change all the type to lowercase. First step, I'll just change the case type to lowercase. So everything is converted to lowercase of file format. Now I'll filter for the data. You can just see the applied steps over here. Now I'll filter the data for CSV. So I can just say text to data equal to CSV. CSV, click OK. So my data is now filtered for CSV. Clear? It has only the file properties, but I can't see the data. So what I'll do, I'll just retain these 2 columns, right click, remove all other columns, because I don't want all other columns. I'll just say remove all other columns. Only these 2 columns are available. One is the file name, the second is the data. Clear? We can actually click on this, but the only thing is when we click on this particular button, the only challenge is it will not have the file name. Okay. So if I want to have the file name and also the data, we will generally use a formula. So I'll go to add column. I'll click on custom column. So I'll write a name. I'll write a new name called get data from CSV. You can import the data from Excel, CSV, any XML, JSON. Okay, it doesn't matter. So the formula is very simple. CSV dot document. CSV dot document. Select which column has the data. So my content column has the data. So open bracket, content, double click on content, close. Clear? So you can learn more about Power Query functions. This is nothing but M language function. So I want to have this particular content in a particular column. Okay, there is no syntax errors. Click OK. So my data is available over here. I don't need this column. So right click and remove. If you can click on this particular plus, the arrow marks, it says it has so many columns. Load more. click OK. So you can see the file name available over here and also the data. Okay. So all the columns, example, all the 4 files data 97, 98, 99, 2000 are available, and so as the data. Clear? So in every first record, it will have the column heading. So I want to promote. You can see here all the column and all the data. All the steps are applied over here, are available over here. Clear? So I'll promote this first record as header. So use transform first row as header. So I'll just click on first row as header. Click OK. So my first row has become header. Now the challenge is every record, for every file, the first record is headers. Since we have converted the first line as headers, for 1998, the second file we get error. And so far, even for the third file, we'll get error. Okay. So we want to remove error rows. So be on the data, go to the home screen, remove errors, click on remove errors, it will remove all the error values. Clear? So now my data is very clean. I may not need date, and I may not need this transaction date. I just wanted to consolidate the data. I have consolidated. Maybe I wish to group now. So on the home screen, group. Let's say I want to group by product ID, and I want to group by, in basic, you can group only single column. In advanced, you can group multiple columns. So product ID and customer ID, group by total quantity. The operation I want to do is sum, and the column I want to use it quantity. Click OK. Just a moment, maybe some. Okay, product ID is because we can't group because this is all in number format. So please convert into text format. So change this to text. Change once again this product ID to text. Now we'll apply group. So group by, let's say we want to do by product. So let's say quantity. Sum. I want to do by quantity. Click OK. We could not convert to numbers. Why? Group by sum. Click OK. Quantity. Click OK. Okay, there's some error. Okay. Sorry. So if I want to now create a link, I can just say close and load to. Now this will load the data. So I'll just create a connection because I don't want to load my file with more data, and it will impact my performance because of the file size. So I'll just create a link. So it is trying to load the data. There's some error in the file. That's the reason. So we can just click on the error. Okay, maybe we are not removed the error rows. That's the reason. So we just have to remove the error rows. So I'll just double click once again. Okay, I have set kept errors. I should have removed errors. Okay, maybe that's my mistake. So instead of removing errors, I kept errors. So I just be on remove errors. So just remove errors. Now, if I want to group, let's see whether it is grouping or not. So group data, advanced. So I want to group by customer ID, count, total quantity. So I'll do the operation of count, sum. I'll select the quantity. Click OK. Now it will try to group the records. So all the steps which I did for this particular activity has been copied over here. Clear? Now, if I want to close in low 2, I can try to close in low 2. Maybe I could have done in the same itself. So I can right click, edit in the same query, go to the same query. So select the column. First, please remove the errors. So remove errors. Now try to group. So group by product ID. I want total count. Sum by quantity. Click OK. So now we got a summary by product ID, total quantity. I can just go say close and load to. So this query will get now updated. The advantage is even if I add 2 more files, if I go to CSV, let's say I add 2 more files, 2021, sorry, 2001 and 2002. So if I insert, once again, I'll just go to edit. I'll try to bring the file size so that you can. So refresh the data, it will refresh all the data. So you can see here, now we added a new file, 2001. This will also get updated. So if you have any incremental file, for example, if you're doing some activity for a client, okay, this year you've done the activity and next year you want to do the activity, you can do the same activity. So if I go to the source, you can find 2001 also available. And for whatever data available in 2001 also will get replicated in the group records. So this is one good advantage of Power Query. We use it for automating our process. Instead of using macro, we suggest that this method is better. Okay, because even the steps are getting recorded and I don't need to know the programming. So you can learn Power Query for better things. Now, we understood about Power Query? What is this Power Pivot? Okay, so Power Pivot, what it does is, example, instead of doing a VLOOKUP, how do I get this particular price? Okay. So first thing, I'll just convert this data. Let's say I will just turn this data into format as table. I'll convert this into table. So I just given a name, table 01. I'll convert even the product table, product lookup table as a table, product data as table. So product table 02. I'm just giving a name so that third is customer data. So I'll just convert the data into table and just give a name table 03. Here. You can enable Power Pivot add-in, go to file, options, under add-in, there's a Power Pivot COM add-in. You can just go click on to COM add-in, click on go. Please check this Power Pivot. Okay. For the members who are using Excel 2010 and 13, you have to visit Microsoft website and you can download a Power Pivot add-in. Okay, this is available. If you're original license holder, you can definitely go to Microsoft website. I can share the link also in the YouTube link. You can just go and download the Power Pivot. Yeah. And please go and enable. So once I have enabled, I can just go to the Power Pivot tab. I can add this data to data model. I can click on add this data to data model. So it will add all the tables. It will add all the tables available in Excel file. It will add all the table available in Excel file to data model. Clear? So one is table 3. So I can go once again to product table, which is table 2, which is table 02. I'll just go to Power Pivot, add to data model. So this will add another sheet. This is our Power Pivot window. Okay, like a Power Query, we also have a Power Pivot window. We use DAX formula over there. Okay, So I have added table 1, table 2, table 3. Okay, 3 tables have been added over here. Table 1 is nothing but our transaction data, which has only quantity. Table 2 is my master data for product ID. Table 3 is my customer master data. Clear? Instead of doing a VLOOKUP, we can link the data and then try to sort. Okay. So to link or create a relationship between two data, what we can do is we can go to the diagram view on the home script in the Power Query window, Power Pivot window. In the home menu, we have diagram view. So click on the diagram view. You have multiple options. Example, table 2 and table 3. So I'll okay, maybe I'll rename the table so that you can also understand. So this becomes my transaction data, transaction TXM data. This becomes my product table, product lookup. This becomes my customer lookup. So the different are available. I'll just go to diagram view. Please ensure in your lookup tables the data value. Please ensure I'm in the diagram view. Please ensure in your lookup table, that is customer lookup table and product lookup table, the product IDs are unique data. Okay, it should not have any multiple duplicate entries. And just drag and drop product ID over here. It will create a relationship between these two tables. So it says in customer ID, I have a single record, unique record, and it has star. Star means multiple. Okay. So 1 to multiple, I'm trying to link this customer ID to this customer transaction table. Similarly, I can just drag and drop product ID and product ID over here. It will create a relationship between these two tables. So it says, if I can double click on this, it says product ID of transaction table has to be looked up with product ID with product table. Clear? So it is clear relationship between this two tables. So I can just go to data view. If I come to file and let's say I insert pivot. If you see here, all my data, all my tables are available. All my tables are available. Okay. So customer data and lookup table. And just drag and drop data. Though I have only product ID, I don't have any product name. I can just drag and drop quantity. I can just drag and drop quantity. I can get a pivot table. Clear? So instead of doing a wheel, I can just create a relationship. I can just skip and then do a pivot table. That is also possible. Deepak, this is done. What about if I want to do a product value? If I want to do if I want to understand the sales value, so I can just go to pivot table, Power Pivot, transaction data. So since my data has been okay, there is some issue with regard to syncing of my voice with Excel file. Just follow here. Maybe I'll just repeat once again. We have only we do not have rate diagram. We have column either by adding a column, which is nothing but calculator column, or I can create a measure, or like what we generally do a VLOOKUP. So I'll say price, enter. So I need to now give a formula. It is selecting the entire column. I need to give a formula. I can say there's a formula called related. Okay. So why should I use the related? Because you can see here in column product ID, if I mouse over it, it will say the column is related to product ID. Okay. This column has already created a relationship. So I can use a formula called related. So I want to bring the price. So price is available in product lookup table, product retail price, press tab. So related, table name, column name, close bracket, enter. I have got my price. Clear? Now let me do a value. Okay, so sales value. I just wanted to show a traditional method of doing it and also a new method of doing it. So in the traditional method, we'll try to do a VLOOKUP and get the price. And next column, we are trying to get the multiplication. So, okay, so quantity multiplied by value, quantity multiplied by price is equal to sales value. Clear? So 3 into 2.2 is 6.6. We have got the sales value. If I want to do addition, I can just say total sales. I'm in the measure, I'm in the calculation area. So total sales value, I'm in the measure area. So we have to use colon equal to sum. Sales value column. So please write the table name, transaction data, and select the column. Close bracket, enter. Clear? So any measure is nothing but aggregation. Measure is generally used for aggregation. So the total sales over here is close to total sales is 5,65,000. Clear? Now, why should I add a column, get the price, and then do a sales value? It will also increase my file size. So instead of doing like this, we can use another formula. We have used some formula over here. We can use another formula called SUMMAX. SUMMAX. Okay. SUMMAX is equivalent of sum product in Excel. So what it will do is, it will multiply the price into the quantity for each row and then do the aggregation. I'll repeat. SUMMAX is similar to sum product. It will multiply each row price with each row quantity and then do the aggregation. It's clear? So now what I'll do is I'll just try to use SUMMAX and then get the value. So I'll just say sales total. I'm just giving a new name to ensure that the total are same. Sales total colon equal to, the syntax is colon equal to SUMMAX. Clear? Now I need to give table where I need to calculate. I want the data to be presented in transaction table. I want this particular column sales total to be available only in the transaction data, comma. Please tell me what is my calculation. So I'll just say related. Please bring related product lookup table. Go to product lookup table, get the price. Go to product lookup table, get the price. Close bracket. So I've got my price multiplied by whatever quantity available in transaction table. Whatever quantity available in transaction table, please multiply. Clear? So I'm asking sales total, the new column, new value measure to be available only in transaction data, which will be nothing but please use the product price available in related table, that is product lookup table. So based on the product ID, this ID, it will go to the product lookup table and fetch the price and multiply the quantity available in the same record. Enter. Now if here it is similar. It is 565, 238. It is 565, 238. Okay. So instead of adding two columns, which I can delete right away. Okay. So that I can minimize my file size. So once I delete, it becomes an error. So I can just go and delete this measure also. So right click and delete. This is the easiest method to get any calculation. So without doing any lookup of data, without even getting the lookup of data, we can use the relationship to fetch the data. Now I can use my pivot table and get the sales value. So you can see a calculator measure. Whenever you see a FX, it is a calculator measure. And whenever you don't see a FX, it means column is available. Right click and drag and drop it. Okay. So for each other thing, we can see the sales value. You can do the same thing for customer. You can do the same thing for some customer. So I'll remove this product name. I can drag and drop customer name also. Drag and drop customer name. You can find the data. Or if you want to drag and drop any city, so city wise, you want to do the total, you can do the city wise total. So without even having the data in my transaction table, I can create relationship between two tables or multiple tables using data modeling to minimize or optimize my size and then do the calculation. This is how we use pivot table, Power Pivot. Power Pivot and Power Query are primarily available, useful for whenever you're handling large data. Clear? This is from my side. I just want to summarize before we wind up. We just want to summarize that. So once again, for members, you can download the data file in this particular URL, bit.ly 3cc. It is case sensitive. Please see the URL and then type it into browser. So we spoke about tables. We added data and saw that table also expands the range. We saw how Slicer is using to filter the data. We saw pivot table. How to refresh the pivot table, grouping of date and all things. Okay, text-wise data. If you want to use the text-wise, one second, I'll just share the link. Maybe you can check out your YouTube comment section. You can download this link. Okay, we will just update shortly in the YouTube below the video. You can just sign the link. Okay, with regard to text data, you have to select manually. And right click and say group. So in text data, it has to be done manually. You can see the group over here somewhere. So this is a group. Okay. Only for the text data, there's no logic available. We have to do manually. Okay. For dates and number, we can use automatic route. Then we did a summarize by. Then we did a percentage of column. Let us do what is by this difference by and running total. And what is this drill down? Okay. Example, if there's any dispute, between two people with regard to number. Okay. Example, I am saying there are 3 employees with 51 to 60, and someone says there's a different number. We can request the other member, please double click on this particular number. You will find the details. So according to me, it will create a new sheet. According to me, there are only 3 employees with the age of 51 to 60. The data is available over here. It will create a new sheet. Okay. So let him verify what is missing and then provide us the data. Clear? So drill down is nothing but just double click on any value, you'll get the details. Okay. This can be disabled. Right click, pivot table options. You can decide whether you want to show the details or not. So I can also disable this. Clear? Good. And with regard to, I will do one more exercise with regard to, there's some data available for mutual fund. How do we use to find the growth between multiple mutual funds? So if you have shares or mutual fund, the data is available. So I'll just convert the data to table. Clear? I am creating a pivot table. I'll tell you what is my question so that you can easily understand. So script name wise, date wise, NAV is there. Clear? So there are various schemes available. There are close to 60 schemes available. But if you see here, I may not require the grand total. So I right click, pivot table options. I'll just uncheck the grand total. Okay. The question is simple. Aditya Birla Sun Life Pure Fund, Pure Value Fund. It was 51 rupees in 31st March 17. It has grown to 60 rupees. Okay. And the second fund is from 34 rupees, it has grown to 40. Third fund from 22 rupees, it has grown to a different number. Now, how do I know which fund has grown? Only if I understand the percentage, I can understand which fund has grown. Okay. For example, it is 60 minus 51 and 8 rupees. I want to divide by 51. So I will say 7%, 17%. So if I drag and drop, if I drag it down, it will say various schemes are available. So example, this scheme has got a negative return. From 10 rupees, it has gone to 9 rupees. So 4% negative. And there's one fund which is with 15%, 20%, 21%. Okay. So how do I know? Because each one has a different opening NAV. So we are not able to easily identify which fund has grown. Okay. So we have a functionality in pivot table available since 1997, 2003. So don't tell whether it was a new feature. So right click, Either you can go to show values or you can go to value field settings. So I can go to, for members who don't have Excel 2010, members who are using 2007, you can go to value field settings. Okay, so value field settings, show value as. I'll click on, there's something called as percentage difference from. So click on percentage difference from. So I want to create a difference from this date to compared to the previous date. So it is not based on the scheme value, it is based on date. So everything I want to compare with 31st March. Every NAV I want to compare with 31st March. Click OK. Now it is easy for me to understand this has grown by 17%, this has grown by 15%, 20, 30, etc. Clear? So I'll repeat once again. Right click, value field settings, show value as. In the drop down, please select percentage of difference from. Click on date because we are comparing by date. If you select previous, it will compare 28 with 27, 27 with 26, 26 with 23rd. Okay. So please click on a particular date, or if you want to compare by previous, you can compare by previous also, nothing wrong. So I'm comparing everything with 31st March value. Click OK. So this is what we call as percentage of. This is why we use percentage of difference from. Understand which fund has grown or not. Okay. Deepak, this is all in numbers. How can I present in charts? This all is in numbers. How can I present in charts? Okay. This is primarily for members who are in members who want to see visually. There's something called as spark lines. Okay. Introduced in 2010. So I'll select the data where I want to have the charts. I mean, the chart is nothing but in a single cell, how can I have a data charts? So select the record cells where you want to have the spark lines. Go to insert. This is where you have spark lines. So I'll click on line. So please select the data. So I'll just go select the data from here. Please select the data. So I selected from here to till and where I want to place the spark lines is from 5th record to 9th record. Click OK. So this gives me a better view, how was the growth of the shares mutual fund across the period. So this is called a spark lines. You can do further settings. You can do further changes. Example, this fund was introduced in midway. So this is not there for entire year. It was introduced in the midway. You can go to sparkline settings. Okay. In axis, you can say same axis vertically and horizontally. You want to have same axis for all sparklines. So click on this. So it will align all data accordingly. Clear? So this is what I want to say about sparklines. So coming back to our summary. So we are done about filtering the data and conditional formatting. Okay, one more last thing is conditional formatting. So I'll ungroup it. Suppose I want to do a conditional formatting for only top 10 employees. Okay, only top 10 employees. I can be on the value field where I want to apply the conditional formatting. I can be on the value field of any column where I want to apply conditional formatting. So click on conditional formatting. Let's say I want to do a conditional formatting only for top 10 employees. Okay, let's say top 50 employees by salary. So I want to, let's say, create a similar light red fill. Click OK. Now you please click on this particular option. It is currently put only on particular one cell. Click on this particular drop down. All cells showing salary values for name of the employees. So change from the selected cell to all cells. Now if you scroll down, you can see in some particular cell, cells, there's a conditional formatting being applied. Clear? I'll repeat. So be on the conditional formatting. be on the cell where you have the values, click on conditional formatting, top 10. I can just change to top 50. Okay. There will be a icon over here. Change this formatting options from the selected cells to all cells of this particular column. Clear? So if I go down, you can see the higher value has got scrolled down. Clear? So this is how we do conditional formatting. Good. So this is what I want to do. I have spoken about Power Query. I have spoken about aggregate and small tips on how do I convert the data. Okay. So most of the people they generally struggle. Example. Let me type some number. So if I do a sum equal to sum, I get 6 because this data is been stored as text. This data is been stored as text, so I am not getting the value. Okay. So members generally use method, so and then do it, or they do it correct. This is also correct. Okay. Generally, I come from a school where we don't change the source data. So what we can do is to convert the data to text, we can use prefix double minus. Okay, we can which will also convert. But later on, you will understand why this has been multiplied by 1. Okay, so I use a practice called equal to double minus, link to this particular cell, enter. When I copy this formula, and now I place it over here, I get 7. Okay, to convert data stored, okay, sorry, not data, number stored as text to number, please prefix double minus. If you want to convert once again with text, please say equal to this one multiply by null cell. Null cell is nothing but double quotes twice. Clear? I'll put the formula over here so that so when I do a sum, I just get a value error. Clear? Good. So to convert number stored as text, we can use prefix this one, and to convert to text, suffix and with double quotes. Good. That's all from my side. Paramasivam, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all from my side, sir.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
all from my side.
So summarize it, sir.
Hello. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Is everything is freeze?
Yeah, I summarized, sir. Just now summarize. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Any questions?
So nothing questions, sir.
someone,
Suppose any questions, please forward your mail ID, sir. Members
Okay.
may send the queries. Okay, sir.
Okay. One second. I'll just put the email ID also. Okay. There is one question in. He has said, can we use this Power Query for data in more than one sheet in Excel and having the same column? Yes, you can use the same. You can use Power Query for in more than a single sheet.
Okay.
One second, sir. I'll just share my email ID so that the members, if they want to.
Please send your email ID, sir.
Shall I type it over here or how, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I type my email ID or?
Okay, sir. I send it to my members group. No problem. You, sir, please type
Okay.
in the sheet, sir.
Okay. I'll just type it. Hello, sir. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Paramasivam, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
Okay,
for
sir. Today's session is very
Thank
useful
you.
to the members in Prati, sir. Our speaker is extremely presented with practical approaches. Once again, thank you all our delegates and speaker in the webinar program. One request to the members for claiming unstructured CB hours, members shall log in to the CB portal and submit unstructured learning activities online in the self-declaration basis. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.